What happened in 1930 that made Billie Holiday sing Strange Fruit? A twisted tale unfolded when 19-year-old Mary Ball reported that the men who shot her fiancé, Dieter, had sexually assaulted her. However, she later recanted her claim. Police arrested 3 young black men, Thomas Shipp, Abram Smith, and 16-year-old James Cameron, charging them with unaliving Dieter and graping Ball. The crowd, demanding justice outside the jail, witnessed a system failure that led to a macabre spectacle on August 7, 1930. 10 to 15,000 whites abducted Shipp, Smith, and Cameron, lynching Shipp and Smith while Cameron narrowly survived a brutal beating. The Indianapolis Recorder reported that after they were robbed of their lives, the perpetrators drove past the victims' houses, shouting at their parents, "We have lynched your sons. Now cry your eyes out." This tragic event was captured in an iconic photograph by Lawrence Beitler.
Now, I didn't find any information as to whether or not these men this group, this crowd of people, if anyone was arrested for falsely unaliving these 2 gentlemen and beating one almost to death. I couldn't find any information if the young lady who recanted was ever charged with anything. I couldn't find any of that information, and it's most likely because in these situations that no one ever was punished for falsely unaliving these men. And we know that that is part of the course during that time frame, and not too much different today. One of the things that I find also interesting is that and Billie Holiday is one of my favorite old time artists. And one of the things I found interesting in researching her and understanding her life is that the federal government actively tried to entrap this young lady because of that one song. Not because the song told the truth, but because the song, they believe, sent the wrong message to black people. That song may have caused black people to say, no more will we tolerate large gatherings of people falsely murdering our people when they have been falsely accused, or make them believe that they have a place that is greater than the place that the American government wanted us to be in at that time frame. This is also the problem that was going on in the 60s, and it's still a problem that's going on today. That censorship of minority people through their leadership and through their entertainment and through anybody else who has a platform is still going on. If a person of color were to come on here, like I have on so many occasions, and talk about the fact that we need to all move, or not all, 76% of the black people in the Americas should move to the Southeast, should move to South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Take over those states politically. After we take over those states politically, we can take over those states economically. And once we've taken over those states politically and economically, those states will become a safe haven for black people. Those videos hardly get any viewership. I've only had one. And the only one that got good viewership was the one where I was saying that we need to leave this country. Because, of course, government wouldn't care too much if we all left. But the ones where I say that, I talk about the fact that we need about 76% of the people of color to move to the Southeast so that we can control our own destiny. We can control our own schools. We would control the police departments. We would control where federal dollars go. We would control our taxation. We would control our economics. We would control an area of land to which we know that we can be safe. We know that we can govern ourselves according to what our desires are and not what the federal government or those in the majority are. The fact that I talk about that on those videos, they don't get the spread that the other videos get, simply because the government is still actively censoring what minorities do that could cause them to lose some of their control over us. And the fact that that is still going on today just shows that the mindset is still there. I'm not fully upset with them about that, only because I understand from my military background that nobody willingly gives up power. That power has to be taken. Freedom has to be taken. And I'm not calling for anyone to act out violently. What I'm calling for people to do is to move into those states so that we can then have our own safe havens. Yes, it will be a nation within the nation, but at least within those states, we wouldn't have to worry about many of the things that happen while we're all spread out so thin. Would we still have crime? Of course we would. Would we still have poverty? Of course we would. Would there still be challenges within the communities? Of course there would be. But I guarantee we'll have a decrease in black men and women going to prison. We will have a decrease in jail terms being unequal to those of a different color. We would actually have more people being able to go to college and more people being able to take care of themselves and take care of their families, and stronger families at that. Simply because we'd be rotating our dollar within our communities over and over and over and over again, therefore making the type of economic powerhouse that we already are into a reality that benefits us instead of taking away from us. That the American government doesn't want to see, which is absolutely insane. Because if I was president of this country, then I would actively want every person in this country to be able to be as successful as they possibly can. Any laws of governing that extinguishes that for any group, I would eliminate actively. Because if you wanted to have a true, strong America, then you need a very strong middle class. And you need to eliminate poverty as much as you possibly can. If America, with its size and its economics and its military, had the social standings of a country like Finland or Denmark or Singapore, do you know how much of a world power that America would then be on the economic front, on the political front? But because these groups want to hold their power based on families and race, the American dream is truly an American nightmare. But that song, Strange Fruit, I want y'all to go listen to that song. It's a great song, and I thank Billie Holiday for being as strong as she was and continue to outwit the federal government almost to the very end. So here's to you, Billie Holiday, and thank you for all things that you've done for our people. And for everybody else, y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.